Well, it's Groundhog Day. Again. And that must mean that I am Professor Robert E.G. Black, and this is the Groundhog Day Project.
It's one of those infinite time loop situations you might have heard about.
It's a thing where the same day keeps happening.
Time.
I wake up every day right here, right in Punxsutawney, and it's always February 2nd.
The last revision is what counts, apparently.
We're on minute 61 of Groundhog Day. Phil has hit his depression, or his depression has hit him. But he's still doing his report. I also noticed something that I don't think I ever noticed before. I'm pretty sure he got there earlier today than he normally does. Which is kind of amusing given his depressed state. That somehow he got out of bed and made it into the town square faster than usual. Because I don't think they've pulled the groundhog out of the stump yet, as he's talking. The inner circle guys behind him are just kind of waving at the crowd. Stuff they were doing when they first got on stage. He's not that much earlier. They generally arrive. Well, no, he's been talking. We came in, he's already mid-speech, mid-report. So yeah, he's at least a few minutes earlier than usual. Maybe a lot. Maybe he's been talking for like 20 minutes. I don't know. At the end of the last minute, he said, once again, the eyes of the nation have turned here to this. We come into minute 61 with him turning around to the crowd around a tiny village in western Pennsylvania, blah, 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 blah. There is no way that this winter is ever going to end. As long as this groundhog keeps seeing his shadow. I don't see any other way out. He's got to be stopped. And I have to stop it. We get a shot of Rita and Larry, and Rita is looking really concerned, maybe a little scared. Larry, total professional, is just recording at this point, not even reacting yet. But with Phil done, we cut to them, and it's like, real good, Phil, real good. And Phil has, I guess, walked away. Did he take the mic with him? Huh. Larry lowers the camera and turns to Rita and is like, he's out of his gourd. Yeah. Cut to, we're not that far away. We're just shifted out to the street on the west side of the square. Gobbler's Knob's in the southwest corner of the square. Larry and Rita at the news van putting equipment away. Larry's putting his camera in there and closing the door, and Rita's like, I'm worried. I think there's something really wrong with Phil. And Larry, who always pushes back against Phil's bullshit, has a slightly funny, but I think he's also concerned, response. Yeah, there's a lot of things really wrong with Phil. Larry goes to do something out of frame, and Phil shows up, talks to Rita. She says, oh, hi, Phil. And at some point here, I think it's as Phil walks away, or as he's about to, or maybe as he's about to talk. Note in the background, oh, look, it's the extra with the big furry Russian hat and the white sweatpants. That guy gets around, man. Phil tells Rita, I've come to the end of me, Rita. There's no way out now. I just want you to remember we had a beautiful day together once. Sorry, for some reason that line is really sad today. Not sure why. Reading that line just hit me. Don't normally get emotional about this movie. There was a point in my year of watching it every day for the blog where I would get sad about the old man dying, and then there was a point where I didn't get that sad about it anymore. I was just writing. It was more objective. And then it circled back around to it being really sad when the old man dies. And for some reason today, recording, or watching the minute right before recording, this was kind of sad, or sadder than usual. But it didn't really hit me until just now reading the line out loud. I've come to the end of me is such a sadly, profoundly specific way to describe depression. And in this case, what is essentially, although maybe Phil doesn't even realize it yet, is suicidal depression. I'm not an expert on suicide. I'm not a psychologist. I can't give you specific advice. I mean, call a suicide hotline if you're feeling this depressed. If there's still a suicide hotline. I know some have lost funding. He does say her name at the end of that first line, which is almost like he's reaching out, but it might just be the kind of writing we're getting here. There's no way out now. Actually, that's an interesting phrasing as well, for a different reason. I mean, on the one hand, it's sad and depressing. There's no way out. Like, this depression can't go away, is what he's feeling right now. And he has to embrace that. Part of the structure of Phil's time loop, or Phil's experience of the time loop, is that he needed the adolescent period. You need the adolescent period first. You gotta test the limits. You have to get outside of yourself. That's the reason for a Connor's loop. Connor's style loop is basically, there is something wrong with you, and the only way to fix it is to make you get stuck and see who you really are. The only way to see who you really are is to try out different things. You need the adolescent phase where you try out the silly, stupid things, the fun things, the wrong things, and you probably are going to come to a bad point where you realize you don't know what else you can do. Phil's problem is he's such a sarcastic, smartass kind of guy, cynical and pessimistic already, like going into the film. His big thing is he has a great job, but it's not good enough for him. He's got Kenny, who seems like an assistant who is on it. He knows what's happening. Larry, who's a pretty good cameraman, professional, knows what he's doing. Turns out Rita seems like she's a pretty good producer. Maybe. There are some things where we don't get to see exactly what she does about certain stuff, because we're stuck in this minimal amount of time in the morning. But she seems like she's good at what she's doing. And for Phil, it's not enough. Drinking with Ralph and Gus, spending the night with Nancy, going to Heidi 2 with Lorraine. None of this is enough for him right now, and he only sees darkness. He only sees the repetition. But that is necessary. It's like the Buddhist angle from Harold Ramis, because Harold Ramis was effectively a non-practicing Buddhist, I think I'd describe it as. Like, he had held Buddhist beliefs, but I don't know that he went to Buddhist temples and spent time doing whatever it is they do. But it's that the idea that the only way to change yourself is to kill the old self. That's not probably good phrasing for a Buddhist angle, but what I'm trying to say about it, or how I would describe it, is like, you have to have the death of your ego. Mixing and matching Buddhism, Freudian stuff, Jungian stuff, Phil had to sort of has to embrace his shadow, let go of the ego, and find enlightenment. He can't find it outside. There's no way out now. No, you're not supposed to go out now. There is literally no way out for him right now. He is correct. But what's great here is that I would say there is light, even in this moment, for him. Because what does he say? I've come to the end of me, Rita. He says her name. He's still making a connection with her. He chose to come over to the van and talk to her before he goes and grabs the groundhog. Then he says the really depressing part, there's no way out now. He is correct about that. There's literally no way out now. He's going to find a way to end the day quickly in a few minutes, but he's not quite there yet. But then the next line, I don't think it's for him, but it is. He needs to remember this too. I think this is why it's sad. I hit pause for a moment, wipe away some tears. I'm not really crying, but like my eyes were a little teary from reading that again and from what I was about to say. And I know by commenting on that and acknowledging that, maybe you could hear it in my voice a little bit. Probably when this audio shows up on my YouTube channel, because this show does show up on YouTube just with, I think, a blank square, but you can listen to it that way. If anyone ever comments on this one, it'll be someone, just like when I did what movie was that? It was a movie review back in, like a decade ago, where I referenced I actually put on the screen, because there was this moment where I had trouble talking about something from the movie. I wish I could remember the specifics to give you a better description of the story. But in the video, you can see where I lose track of whether I want to say something, because I think I'm talking about a horror film. But we have just had what was that nightclub? It was a nightclub shooting where a bunch of people died. And I was deciding whether I wanted to get into the reference to the real world and the violence and everything else. Just like in this show. Just last episode or the episode before, I was talking about things going on in the world right now. Because this world's a mess. Bad things are happening. Only comment on that review was some guy laughing and be like, oh, you look like you're about to cry. I'm like, yeah, it's because I'm a fucking human and I care. Like right now in the world, we got genocides in multiple places, wars in multiple places. We have people being deported without due process in this country, being rounded up by masked barely deputized hooligans who are not trained for what they are doing and are not doing it well. Even if you like the result of the deportation of people who are undocumented, the idea that anyone is cheering on the methodology of it is fucking despicable to me. And that we just live in this world where we just have to put up with that because if you get in their way, they're just going to come and arrest you too and charge you with, I don't know, what's it called when you interrupt a cop at their job? I don't even remember what the charge they put on people is, but like if you go and try to stop them, then it's just going to get worse and then it's going to escalate. Just a few weeks ago, it hasn't even been that fucking long. Every day and every week is so long lately. And I'm so tired of it. I'll just be specific of Trump and his administration and every fucking piece of bullshit they put out, every lie that they say. And they just get away with it because their people are fucking cult who just buy into every little word. And it is tiring as fuck. It's July 3rd as I'm recording this episode. It's going to be, 61, so we're going to be sometime in, I don't know, probably beginning of September at that point. Are we even still here? Is like this a country anymore? And even if it is by name, should it be? If this is still going, like it can't get much worse and still be a country, or it can, but it's going to be a horrible thing that is a lesson in future textbooks like Nazi Germany is, like Stalinist Russia is, or Maoist China. Although those last two might be me buying into a lot of propaganda from my childhood. Because I grew up during the Cold War and we always said horrible things about communist countries, just like we say horrible things about Muslim countries now. And it's just perfectly okay for Israel to kill whoever they want in Palestine because, I guess, Israel, the chosen people and some bullshit and they own all of our politicians. And it's just a bunch of shit. And of course, yeah, there's no way out now. There is no way out for us right now. I didn't expect to get riled up by this fucking speech from Phil, but God damn it. I haven't come to the end of me. But you know what I do with most of my time right now? I watch movies. I set a record last year for the most movies I'd ever watched in a year. I'm going to beat that record this year. I am well ahead of last year's timing for that by like months. Like we just hit July and my 350th film is the next one I'm going to do. I check my profile on Letterboxd because if someone goes to my profile or I go to my stats, I don't know if other people can see all of my stats like I can. I think I can share them, but I don't think they can just see them. But on my stats for this year, it shows like first movie. You can see at the diary, you can see every movie you've watched in the year, of course. But first movie shows the little poster and then 50th movie, 100th movie, 150th, 200th. And I learned last year that after 500 it stops doing that. Because I did make it to 550. I got to 560 something last year. 350 is the next one. So I was like, I got to pick an interesting one because it's going to show up on my little profile there. I'll figure out what it is when I get home later. It's 11:30 in the morning, July 3rd. I had a morning class from 8 to 10:45. I have another class at 1 o'clock. After I finish recording this episode, I'm going to leave this classroom, wander over to my other classroom for my later class because it should be empty by now from the morning thing, and I'll record some more over there. I've been doing pretty good on numbers recording these things, but this is my day, is class, record a bunch of podcast episodes, class, go home, turn on some TV or some movies and try to like not be in the world because I am too old to participate in the things I would like to be doing or that I would like to be the kind of person who does. Maybe that's better phrasing. I would like to be out there with like resistance demonstrations and protests, doing actual, I'm not going to say what I'd like because who knows what I could be held accountable for in the future with this recording. I'm in California, and California mostly is not on the side of Trump's policies with ICE and how he wants to deal with immigrants and how he wants to deal with basically anyone who he disagrees with or who disagrees with him. Right now, there is no way out. And it's hard to see what the way out is. It has to destroy itself. And in the meantime, so many people are going to get sick. So many people are going to become homeless. So many people are going to be in prison. So many people are going to be deported. So many people are going to die. So the thing to remember, what Phil tells Rita, I just want you to remember we had a beautiful day together once. When everything is dark. I had to double check what shirt I was wearing because I almost wore my, what's it called? Is it called Night in the City? No, Night in the Woods video game. I have a Night in the Woods shirt that says on it, I forget the exact phrasing, but it's like, when everything is lost, hold on to anything, which is a weirdly optimistic thing. And it's kind of what we need now is hold on to the good stuff. As I say at the end of a lot of these episodes, take care of the people around you, take care of your friends, take care of your family, take care of strangers who need help. And if you need help, accept it. Let other people take care of you. Because so much is falling apart. But this is nice that Phil wants Rita to remember, even though he knows she can't. I don't know if he's planning to kill himself right now as he goes and gets in the truck. Well, he's going to do that next minute. Or if he's just making it up as he goes. But he does know that regardless of what he does, all Rita has is the next, 16 hours? It's probably about 7:30 to 8 in the morning right now. She's got 16 hours.
9 till 6.
Or 22.
Of life. Remember that we had a beautiful day together once. She doesn't remember that. But even if she did, she can only remember it for the next 16 hours and then it resets again. Phil can remember it, but it's not enough, clearly. Because of who he was, who he still is, because he hasn't transformed himself yet. That beautiful day eventually turned on him, and turned on him, and turned on him, and he was slapped, and he was slapped, and he was slapped, he was slapped. I don't know how many times I said it, but also we don't know how many actual times he was slapped. We just see the ones we see. But there could have been more. There could still be more. Because life will do that. Even if you aren't a problematic guy like him who's a little too pushy and thinks he can just keep talking his way into whatever he wants because he's in a time loop. That only lasts for so long. You run out of the way to play the game. You run out of tactics, things to say, or you follow a script too much. That's why I love the short film. The feature is okay. The short, I think, is better. Time Freak. You can find the feature. I think it's on Netflix. It's on streaming somewhere. But the short, if you can find it, is fantastic. It's about a guy who creates a time machine, and all he is doing is obsessing about his interaction with the guy at the laundromat that he had an argument with, and a woman who he's trying to, connect with. And he just keeps writing down all these lines of dialogue that people say back and forth and trying to figure out different iterations of how he can respond and how he can make it better. And he just makes these charts, like these flow charts of how this goes and all these different versions of the timeline. He has spent his time machine, the first morning with his time machine, just traveling to earlier that same morning. He can't do anything bigger than that because he is stuck on making this present nicer. And I think Phil right here is he's talking to Rita, yeah, but he's also talking to himself and talking to us. It may be bad, but you want to remember that you had a beautiful day together once, but also a beautiful day alone. I know when I started my blog back in 2013, my wife and I were separated at the time. And so I would sometimes lament that openly in the blog and talk about if I had days I could do over, what would they be? And some of them were specific times she and I had spent together, like a day in San Francisco where we ended up in the park over near the Presidio, right on the coast of the bay, laying in the grass, and at one point a bug got in her hair, and it was kind of perfect. But at the time, I was objectively looking back at the perfection of it, feeling it in pain, not in pleasure. And Phil's there. Come to the end of me, Rita. There's no way out now. I just want you to remember we had a beautiful day together once. And then Phil walks away, and I can enjoy the rest of this fucking minute. Get over this and get over talking about how bad the world is right now and get over ranting because Rita stands there. Andy, I hate to harp on this once again, but when Phil walks away, Andy McDowell stands by the van and it's like the director, sorry, I'm going to blame Harold too, forgot to tell her to do something. And so she's standing there kind of awkwardly. I know what else is she going to be doing? She's just going to be standing there. But it just, something about the way she's standing doesn't feel right. It was this and then some other things later, especially at the very end of the movie, where I started calling her Rita the robot. And I'm so sorry, Andy. And if you want to come on the show and yell at me for calling you a robot, I would love that. You're great. You're still great. You've had great performances. There are, of course, my early memories of you are the weird performances, Greystoke, where they replaced your voice because of your accent. And this one where I think you're playing a character that sometimes is hard to do. And then I don't think Harold Ramis tells people what to do in the background, so they just have to figure it out. And you're so far in the background here that we can't even see, maybe you're having a great expression on your face and we can't even see it. So it just feels like you're being awkward, but maybe you're reacting perfectly and you're emoting, but the camera's too far away because the camera is over by the red pickup as Buster is talking to Punxsutawney Phil in his little cage on the side of the back of the pickup. And he says, "All right, little fella." And the minute ends. Phil doesn't get there yet. Well, there's two Phils in the frame. Phil Connors doesn't get over there yet to Punxsutawney Phil. He'll deal with that next minute. We'll deal with that next minute. Come back next time. I hope you had a good time in the meantime. Go do something fun. Go do something you used to enjoy. Or go do something you really want to try. Find something unique and interesting to do. Or if you are up for it, go fucking be part of the resistance. Go break something.
Knew you were gonna say that.
This has been a production of Lemming Drops Studio. You can find links to more at lemmingdrops.com or join the Facebook group Lemming Drops Studio Tour. Also, you can support all my shows at patreon.com/lemmingdrops.
What is wrong in the end which never comes? Or which comes again and again, laughing, like waves.
Since the Big Bang set everything in motion, everything that happens in this universe has to be the way it is. Particles unfolding the way they're destined to.
How do you sleep at night? You've never seen Groundhog Day?
Yeah, Groundhog Day is not a documentary.
Remember when Groundhog Day was just a movie?